Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where Jeb, Bill, and Bob have pretty much done everything that we wanted them to do. Like, they're basically ready to head on home, I think. So, let's just go ahead and turn the SAS on, and hop into Maneuver Node. Maneuver Mode, even. I'm so used to saying Maneuver Node. This is not a Maneuver Node, this is a Maneuver Mode. Very, very big difference there. But we need to get out of here. We've already got this set up, and it's not very useful to us yet, because we need to set up a communication system to deal with it. But I just wanted to get these contracts out of the way first. So, I think we're ready to head on home. Let's go. Just go ahead and head to straight up. Excellent. And once we hit an apoapsis of about 10 kilometers, we're just going to start heading on over to head into orbit. We are currently at 3 kilometers, make that 4. And realistically, I think we'll just start heading over now. Okay, we're going this way. That's fine. Currently at 7 kilometer apoapsis. Our thrust to weight is a little bit on the low side, but that's okay. It'll be coming up dramatically over the course of our maneuvers here. Apoapsis is currently at 10 kilometers, so I'm just going to go directly over to the horizon and just get as much horizontal speed as we possibly can. Excellent. And off we go. We need to get a lot of horizontal speed, of course. Don't really care currently about the apoapsis height. I only care about horizontal speed. Currently moving at about 250 meters per second. We've got a ways to go to get ourselves that speed increase. Our time to apoapsis is currently decreasing, so we definitely do need to be burning right now. I mean, we already knew that. Our apoapsis is currently up to 12.5 kilometers, so that is just fine. Just need additional speed. Time to apoapsis is now increasing, so that's pretty great. We're just going to continue pushing right now. And in fact, we may as well be at the prograde node right now. I don't think there's any real reason not to be. Currently about 2 minutes away from the apoapsis. I'm going to cut the throttle, and we're just going to set up a maneuver for this, just to get into orbit. Don't need to be too into orbit. Okay, an apoapsis of about here is fine. Okay, this is a 12-second burn, so at T-minus 6 seconds, I want to be on stability assist. At T-minus 6 seconds, we want to do this burn. Only 62 more meters per second to get into orbit. Just go ahead and warp forward towards 6 seconds. Oh, hello, in space near canyons. Ooh, we just lost it. Let's see if we get it again as we cross over this little section here. Yep, EVA, grab that. Fantastic. That was Northern Basin. We'll see if that comes back too. We're going to have to do our burn very shortly, though. We may have to give up on the Northern Basin. We'll see. We need to burn in about 14 seconds. So we don't have a lot of time. We're going to need to burn right now. Okay. Just watching the periapsis. Yeah, that's plenty. Overshot a little bit. Don't really care. Okay, so now we need to plot a return course, and we've got plenty of delta V to make that happen. So realistically, I usually like to plot the return course somewhere around here. Let's see what that looks like. Not quite then. Around here would then be when we'd want to do it. Get our periapsis down to about 25 kilometers, maybe. Just kind of spitballing there. I mean, we're going to have enough DV for a re-entry burn, so maybe not even. Maybe like 15 kilometers. That should be okay. That's going to be a pro-grade burn. We will go ahead and warp to that next maneuver. Yeah, it looks like we're not going to be getting Northern Basin out of this. That's okay. 54-second burn, so we want to burn this at T-minus 27 seconds. I'll go ahead and warp forward a little bit. Okay. I wish we could lock to maneuver node. Unfortunately, Jeb doesn't have that skill set yet. Once he gets back, he probably will. We want to be doing this burn, though. This should get us back reasonably. Slightly adjusting our burn heading as the maneuver node drifts a little bit. Okay, so far so good. What's this final periapsis going to look like? Okay, we're going to have to make some fine tweaks here. So just cutting the throttle, and we're just going to do this very cautiously here. Close enough. And we've got almost 2 kilometers per second in the tank for a re-entry burn, so that'll be more than enough. So I think we're going to be coming in this way, right? 5 hours 56, 5 hours 29. Yes, indeed we are. Let's go ahead and set our focus on Kerbal. And right around here, we're going to do a radial retrograde burn. Something along the lines of this. I want to have this one open, but ideally not this one. So we're going to be targeting 15 kilometers with this. Just want to burn off as much speed as we can before this happens. Or before the re-entry happens, that is. So I'm just going to put in about 1500 DV into this burn. We'll maybe want to burn it a little closer. Something like this. Yeah, 1500 DV should be plenty to do this. Like, we're almost going to circularize with this burn, which is super awkward. We need more retrograde here. A little bit of radial. Yeah, that's almost circularized right there. That's about as good as we're going to get from this burn timing. Okay. We're going to be coming in probably on the night side. Yeah, almost certainly on the night side. I was just thinking this is 5 hours in the future. Kerbal has a 6-hour day. But, yeah, I think we're still going to be coming on the night side because we don't really care about the planetary rotation right now. So that's going to be exciting. I mean, to some degree, you can't help it. But to some degree, we absolutely could. Like, if I really wanted to come in dayside, we could just circularize this. Something... I mean, not even circularize, but something kind of like this. That would be fine. Like, that's at that 1500 meter per second mark. In fact, we could even bring this down to about here. That would be just fine. We'll go ahead and warp here. Goodbye, Moon. It's been nice knowing you. We're not going to need these landing legs deployed anymore. So as soon as this time warp is over, we will undeploy them. I mean, it's not like it matters. We're going to be getting rid of them soon enough. Hello, Kerbal. We're coming for you. We're coming for you fast. Okay. We will go ahead and retract these. Perfect. And we're going to need to get in position for this burn. This is a 3-minute, 35-second burn. This is kind of lengthy. But if I don't want to come in on the night side, this is what's going to have to happen. So we're going to want to burn this at what? 1 minute 45 plus 2.5 seconds, so 1 minute 47.5 seconds. That's slightly awkward. We'll go ahead and warp forward a little bit to 1 minute 45, or rather 47.5. Okay, 1 minute now. And this will just bleed off a very large amount of our apoapsis potential energy, which is the idea here. Just going to adjust our heading ever so slightly. We don't technically need to do this burn either. It's just we've got all the Delta V. Why not? Why not control where we come down to some degree? This is still going to be a pretty lengthy burn. In fact, we could theoretically physics warp this burn. Something like this. Excellent. How are we looking? We're looking okay. We're not going to be re-entering just yet, which is ideal. Whoa, okay. Trying to adjust a small amount when physics warping? Not easy. That was just a single tap on the key. That's okay, we've only got 25 seconds left in this burn. We managed to physics warp most of it. And I'm going to go ahead and say this is good enough. I'm going to save the extra 141 meters per second. At the periapsis, we are going to go ahead and bring the apoapsis, which is now the periapsis, down. Actually, I'm going to do it a little bit sooner. I want the periapsis to be about... No, actually, Here is fine. Here is fine. I want this to be at about 15 kilometers. Something along the lines of this. Like so. That'll do. We'll go ahead and warp to that maneuver. This is just going to be a retrograde burn, which is fine. We're going to want to burn this at T minus 8.5 seconds, so we'll go ahead and warp towards that a little bit. So right now. Excellent. And now we should be coming in the morning rather than in pitch blackness, which would be good, because YouTube does not deal well with the dark. Okay. Slightly overshot, it's not a big deal. We still have some additional DV, so we can, at this point, actually still, technically, do a re-entry burn. We haven't done a re-entry burn here, because we haven't entered yet. I'm just going to warp a little bit more towards the atmospheric entry, which is going to be, of course, at 70 kilometers. So there we go. We'll just go ahead and reorient to surface retrograde. And we are re-entering as of right... Actually, we'll need to be in sea level mode. We're re-entering right now. And now we can go on radar terrain mode. Okay. And let's just start the drag happening. We are going to burn off the remainder of this fuel as a re-entry burn when we start seeing atmospheric effects. Also, I changed the atmospheric effects to be slightly lower quality because I think that was what was slowing down the recording. The game itself was fine, but so far we've been at a solid 60 this whole time, so hopefully that remains. I'm just keeping an eye on that on my other monitor. And as soon as we start seeing those atmospheric effects, that's when we'll do our re-entry burn. We'll keep maybe... Are we going to try to return all of this? We can try. Worst case scenario, we can abort it and ditch them before we land. So then we could keep about 100 meters per second in our tank. Or, like, 10 seconds of burn would probably be the better metric there. Still at a solid 60 on the recording, so that's a great sign. And here comes the atmospheric effects. Okay. So we're going to start our re-entry burn momentarily. I think I'm going to wait until radar altitude... Actually, maybe until we start seeing heat bars. So far, this seems good. Solid 60. I think that was indeed the problem. Still holding off on the re-entry burn. It does not appear to be necessary currently. I'm going to go ahead and move these guys up to here, because if we're going to recover this stage, we're not going to want to detach it. We can always detach it later. Okay, we're going to want to run that re-entry burn right now. I'd rather land this thing on land, for one thing. But for another thing, this is starting to get kind of extreme. And yeah, our thrust to weight isn't enough to actually lift us, but we can apply some force. I think I'm going to save 20 seconds of burn. Re-entry burn shut down. Going to be deploying drogue chutes momentarily. Once we slow down a little more. With this amount of drag, though, we shouldn't have an issue. Like, we're moving at 1,400 meters per second, but we're still 27 kilometers up. We're going to redeploy the landing struts, most likely, in just a moment. Actually, these pieces are physics-less, aren't they? We can do it now. There we go. Drogue chutes will be coming out in just a moment. SAS can go off. We can tumble. Drogue chutes out. The chutes will align us. Main chutes will be deployed now. One more spacebar press will detach all of this second stage stuff. I'm going to try to recover it, but if we're coming in too quickly, I will be forced to detach it, and we'll just recover our main stack. So far, it's looking good, though, speed-wise. We'll go ahead and warp towards the ground a little bit. The drogue chutes will be deploying at 2,500. There go the drogue chutes, bringing us down to 50 meters per second. Okay. The main chutes will deploy in another 300 meters or so. Main chutes deploying now. 9 meters per second. That's solid. Okay. We'll just warp down to about 90 meters above the surface. Actually, we're moving at 7. Technically, we don't need to burn. I'm pretty sure we just land. Where's our shadow at? I don't currently see the shadow. I am going to still do a landing burn, though. Just to cushion it a little bit. There's the shadow. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, that's not much of a cushion. But it's a small one. And there we go. That was a nice landing. And we can actually do a mystery goo observation and materials study here. Do we have storage space for that? Bob isn't going to be able to get back up once he gets down. So that's something to keep in mind. Can we reach this? Actually, you know what? You know what we can do? We can have Bob collect this data, restore it, open up the service bay. He can come over here, plume it a little bit. I'm sure he's fine. Wander his way over here and hopefully be in range. He's not in range. Okay, so we can't actually get the mystery goo data, but that's okay. That's the less valuable data. So we can recover just Bob here, and with that, he is going to bring the materials bay data. Actually, he isn't. He's going to bring the old materials bay data, which is this 100 science. And then we're going to go to the Griffin 3L, and we're not going to fly this. It can't fly anymore. It's done flying. We're going to grab the materials study. We cannot get the mystery goo observation because Bob has stubby little arms, but we're going to go ahead and recover this now. That's an extra 7.5 science, which we'll have to do. Excellent. We just got 400 science from all that. That is so much. That is insane. So, we can grab this propulsion systems just to clean up this. How much does it cost to upgrade this? We can afford that. Which means that we can now start getting the more expensive tiers of science. Specifically, we want to grab the relay antenna, the weather analyzer. We want to grab the, let's see here. I believe we want, the atmospheric fluid spectrovariometer would be very good for us to get. That's 300 science, so that's all that we can get. Or we could grab this relay antenna, which is an upgrade over this relay antenna, which also gives us access to the passive seismometer and the communitron, which we really, really need. So we're going to grab that. And let's see, what else are we going to be missing for ground stations? The ionographer? That's a ways away, though. RTGs, which we don't actually care about right now. Is there anything else up over this way for ground stations? I don't think there is. Yeah, so we're very close then. We're going to have to make one more trip to that outpost, but we need to set up a communication structure. And that's going to be a job for next episode. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here. Next episode, we are going to start putting up our communication structure for all of our various outposts that we're going to be setting up. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.